Okay, so we're going to try and differentiate this function, g of x, which is defined as the integral from 1 to x to the power of 4 of secant of t dt. Okay, so there's a couple of things to know here. The first one is the lower limit. The lower limit is equal to 1, and so its derivative will be equal to 0. Okay, the top limit is x to the power of 4, and so its derivative is going to be 4x cubed. Now we're differentiating again. I know going from integration to differentiation is a little bit of a jump, but you have to try and stay alert to that. It's basically being awake to it and being alert to it. Concentration more than anything else. This function in here that I'm going to underline, the integrand function before the dt, don't include the dt. The function that's in there is f of t. So we're going to have f of t is equal to secant of t. Okay, now we want f of x. Well, if that's f of t, then f of x is secant of x. Okay, right. Now the way, and this is new to us, but the way to differentiate an integral defined function like g of x is like this. It becomes g prime of x, that's the derivative of g, is going to be equal to, so what we do is we take the top limit, x to the power of 4, and we plug it into f of x. So it's going to be secant of x to the 4. Secant of x to the power of 4. And we multiply that by the derivative of the top limit, 4x cubed. Okay, and then we subtract. And what we subtract, we plug the lower limit into f of x, so it's f of 1, which is secant 1. And we multiply that by the derivative of the lower limit, but the derivative of the lower limit in this case is 0. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So this just becomes, and we're just going to rearrange this part of it so that the trig part of it comes at the end. So you're going to have 4x cubed secant x to the power of 4 minus, this is just going to be 0. So it's simply g prime of x is equal to 4x cubed secant x to the power of 4. These questions, I think, where you're differentiating an integral, are always a little bit intimidating to look at. But once you see the pattern of what's done, they're not bad at all. So we do, again, what we're doing here is, let's change it. So this is going to be f of the top limit. So I'll just give myself a little bit more room. F of x to the power of 4 by the derivative of the top limit minus f of the bottom limit which was 1 by the derivative of the bottom limit, the derivative of 1. Okay, so that's how you set it up. It's f of the top limit by the derivative of the top limit minus f of the bottom limit by the derivative of the bottom limit. And it's going to turn out that g prime of x is equal to 4x cubed times the secant of x to the power of 4. Okay.